In this sport, you don't wait for judges to decide your fate. TenexToken puts you in control. Stake instantly, speculate discreetly, and keep your moves private. TenexToken. Play smart, play discreet.
Andrew McCart, IFLTV. I've got to say, Billy, back by popular demand. I go on that TikTok live every now and again, and people are like, Andrew, when are you talking to Billy again? We like them interviews. I don't know why they like our interviews, but folk have actually asked. I'm not going to say there was hundreds of folk, but at least maybe 7 people in the last week or 2 have asked, when am I getting an interview with Billy Nelson? So here it is. How are you?
I'm good. Well, a lot better than I was the last 2 weeks.
Stressful.
Just I've not I've had a bladder issue since the night of the fight.
Oh really?
And it was resolved on Wednesday. I had a catheter put in because I had an infection in my bladder.
All good now? All good?
Oh, back to normal now.
Good. Well, Billy, let's talk about it then. A couple of weeks back, Lewis Crocker did what many people didn't think he would do after the first fight, especially after the first fight. He became world IBF welterweight champion. Tactically, on your side, spot on. Not just in the ring, but I think tactically outside of the ring with the mind game as well. Where not rising to the occasion, not letting it get to you too much, especially Belfast, 20,000 people, National Stadium. What was the training camp like to get that mindset with Lewis, that to block it all out and just focus on the fight?
Well, the best thing we done was go to Dubai for 4 weeks. In the 2.5 years that I've been training Lewis, that's the most focused he's ever been. Really, tunnel vision, train, sleep, eat, repeat. It really was. It was a fantastic camp. I get fantastic sparring with Kieran Malloy, Cyrus Patterson, and an Asian boy over in Dubai who was very, very good. 20-0 boy.
Good. And the fight itself, Billy, man, like you would have seen interviews, you would have read articles, you would have seen Twitter. A lot of people didn't give Lewis Crocker a chance. A lot of people, he was definitely the underdog going into this fight. But tactically, I mean, from your perspective, he boxed to the T of what you were, the game plan. He boxed to the game plan, so to speak.
And nobody in our camp thought he was underdog. Mm-hmm. Even in the first fight. The first fight, he had some form of stomach bug. We think it was food poisoning the day of the fight. His warm-up was non-existent in the change room. It lasted about 7 minutes. It just wasn't right. But so we evaluated things. We decided to make a few changes, and everything is. I mean, if I'm perfectly honest, I thought this was going to be his last shot at welterweight, but he done the weight brilliantly. And credit to both Adam, the strength and conditioning coach, and Charlie, the nutritionist. Both of them are exceptional in the lead up to that fight. And well, that proves to me that Lewis can stay at welterweight for a good few fights yet.
Well, he has to. He's a world champion. He's got to defend that belt.
At least 2. No, he doesn't have to do anything. It doesn't have to. If it was detrimental to his health, I would insist that he moved up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose. But listen, again, I'm going to probably jump the gun here. And I'll first of all say congratulations on the tactics, because I think leading up to the fight, a lot of people were saying, why has he stayed with Billy Nelson? And I've seen some people say that. I'm not going to say who said that, but...
why would they say that, Andy? Andy, just to butt in there, why would they say that? They don't know the circumstances that he had he had food poisoning the day of the fight. It's just fucking idiots. We shit stirrers that want to do things like that. Well, fuck yous all. We won the world title. It's no luck that I've trained. It's no luck that I've helped train 4 world champions. It's no luck. So get it right up, a lot of them. We rats.
Obviously, looking ahead though, like that's there, right? But now you've got to look at Lewis Crocker and say, what next? What next? I mean, Devin Haney's there, Brian Norman winner maybe, but a lot of people are like saying if Conor Benn wants to come back down at 147, win, lose or draw against Chris Eubank Jr., that you and Lewis be more than happy to give him a shot. Is that true?
Well, I think he's now got a commodity, which is the belt, and he's got to earn off that belt. So obviously the IBF will give him a voluntary defence, of which I'm sure will happen maybe February time, January, February. And then it's either I personally don't see Conor Benn making 147 again. I think he'll go to 154 and possibly fight a bass or something like that. One of the champions that way. Maybe does he deserve? That's assuming if he got beat again against Chris. And if he beat Chris, then he's right in there with a shout at 154 to fight any of them. You know what I mean? But if he came down to 147, I honestly do believe Lewis Crocker will knock him out. I think he just punches way too hard for Conor Benn.
Looking at the landscape though, is what's again? It's been a few weeks since the fight, so I don't know if you spoke to Lewis. I know he's probably enjoying himself a little bit now because he is a world champion. I've seen his Instagram and
right. He's not really. He's been brand new since the fight. He's been very professional.
What's the conversations been like? Does he want to unify? Does he want the biggest payday? I mean, right now that welterweight division might be a little bit open now when it comes to world champions. Do you know what I mean? So what's been the conversations like for his next fight?
There's been no conversations, but why would you go and get a unification straight away if you can get a voluntary, earn good money off a voluntary, and then go and get a unification? That's what makes sense.
Definitely,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
because they want to take the fight. They want to take the fights. They want to take the fights back to Belfast. You want to show the folk at home this is your world champion fighting here in a voluntary defence, and then hopefully maybe get somebody like Barrios to say if you're fighting a unification fight and no Conor, then I'm sure Barrios would gladly come to Belfast to fight and Windsor Park again, and then you could open up that other stand and get more of a crowd in. That was a fantastic night, a great atmosphere that night.
Definitely, I was lucky to be there, and
I think everybody in the crowd were a wee bit surprised with the tactics as well.
To be honest, Billy, so was I. I think with Carl Frampton, and I was agreeing with Carl when Carl was saying that for this fight, Lewis needs to get closer and punch his way in and really put it on, sit on Paddy's chest. But it was the complete reverse. He was on the back foot. He was waiting for Paddy to commit, and then he landed those two them lovely left hooks that dropped him as well. So for me, I was agreeing with Carl.
It was something that we did speak about at length in the first fight, that he does come over his front foot a lot. So it worked at he. But in fairness, me and Andy spoke on the Tuesday, and he said both him and Paddy were really, really surprised at the tactics, and it took them a long time to adjust.
Listen, like I say, you proved a lot of doubters wrong.
Head up, hands up. I've never seen Lewis Crocker do that ever. And in 2.5 years he's been with.
You're breaking up a little bit, Billy.
There's nothing I can do about that, mate.
I know. Listen, just to let the people know, there's a storm in Scotland, so the Wi-Fi is down. I don't think my Wi-Fi is that great, and your Wi-Fi is disconnected.
Sometimes I'm good. Sometimes I'm exceptional, but even I can't affect the Wi-Fi.
You're not going to tactics for the Wi-Fi, Billy. I'm going to do a hard segue because I know Lewis Crocker very well, man. So you know what? Happy for him because he got a lot of abuse and a lot of stick after the fight as well. So fair play to them. He deserves it. And I know Paddy as well. So hopefully Paddy can come again because he's a good kid as well. But Billy, I'm going to take a hard segue left. I'm going to go hard segue left. I'm going to jump straight into Martin Bakole, straight into the Eddie Hearn comments of Martin Bakole is in the running to face Anthony Joshua in his next fight. Your thoughts?
Well, it's news to us. It's news to me, and I'm his manager. So if they want that fight, pick up the phone. Let's negotiate. Let's get it done. We've always said we'd take the fight. Always. So it'd be a great fight for Africa. It's the only fight he can really take if he's going to Africa. You know what I mean? He can't go and fight a Tony Yoka. For goodness sake. You know what I mean? They've got lambasted to fight Tony Yoka. Let's get the best African fighter that's out there. Fully fit Martin Bakole. And I do believe Martin does a number on AJ. And listen, timing's a great thing in boxing. You know, Anthony's been the man in British boxing for years. He's got British boxing working with the Saudis because of his name. Nobody else. And then it snowballed with Tyson Fury and Usyk as well. But AJ's been the man for British boxing since basically won the Olympics. And I just think this is the time to beat him now. And I believe Martin Bakole is the man to beat him. But they know that Martin Bakole will give him a hard fight. They know that.
Do you feel like because of Martin's last...
But maybe I'm disappointed in the last two. Well, not so much the Joe Parker fight. I mean, come on, 36 hours notice. You know, and he hurt Joe 3 or 4 times with uppercuts. Joe was blinking very badly. I know how spans went and previously with A2. If Martin had a full camp, there's no way Joe Parker beats Martin. Absolutely no way. And I believe at this stage of AJ's career, Martin will beat him.
The good thing as well, it seems like Matchroom do want to go to Africa with AJ. They've been to Ghana, they've looked at Ghana, sites around Ghana. And like you said, when you're looking at Africa and the big heavyweights in Africa, Martin Bakole is the number one. He is the guy in Africa right now.
Of course. But let's not forget, Andy, AJ has already been offered a fight with Martin Bakole in Congo.
And it was, when was that? That was the Rumble in the Jungle. That was 50 years last year, wasn't it? The anniversary.
Aye, it's 51. October, a couple of weeks, it's 51, isn't it?
Aye.
Or 52, maybe.
What's the script on Martin? What's he been up to? I've seen on his Instagram. He's obviously done a lot of work.
He's been in Congo a couple of months, attended some business things, and he has to be a port for hospital equipment because he's built a hospital for his local people in Kananga. And he's got a meeting with the president. I think it's tonight or tomorrow, and then or Sunday, and then he'll fly home straight after that.
I've got to ask, Billy, I have to ask. When you spoke about Lewis Crocker there and getting down to welterweight, you mentioned the stellar job of his nutritionist and his S&C coach. Obviously, there's been a lot made of Martin coming in heavy his last couple of fights. Do you feel like an S&C coach? I know he's a heavyweight, doesn't really need to make weight, maybe a wee sweatsuit every now and again for the heavyweights. But do you feel like getting an S&C coach...
It does need to make weight. It does need to make weight. It does need to make weight. Of course it does. There's an optimum fighting weight for every heavyweight.
And what's
Martin's abused that. What's his last fight? No, the Parker fight. Martin's would be, for me, 275, 280. 275.
What was
270 preferably.
What was he against Jared Anderson? 280?
280.
Yeah.
I'd like him to even 10 pound light on that, or half a stone light on that.
Does that mean you need a nutritionist and S&C coach on board?
Well, not so much a strength conditioning coach. We will be getting a strength conditioning coach. I've got somebody lined up. As soon as we've got a date, this guy will be getting flown over. Although see a nutritionist, a nutritionist that we need needs to have an understanding of African food, because that's what he eats all the time. And he's a vegetarian, believe it or not. You know that.
I know that. I do know that.
I know. So, well, is it called a Presbyterian when he eats fish?
Aye, Presbyterian, yeah, yeah.
He eats a certain fish that's quite expensive because it gets imported over to the UK. But that person needs to have an understanding of it. But there's certain things he needs to cut out in his diet, like fufu, and I think he has cut that out now. So, but we will get somebody to work with him.
What if the Joshua fight doesn't happen next? Are you hoping to get out with Martin Bakole this year? Are you hoping he'll get a fight this year by the tail end of this year?
See, ultimately, we had one fight with Boxer, and that was in Poland, and everybody slagged him off. He went on to go the distance with Jabalov and Puev, but Martin stopped him in 4 rounds. Why do people not bring that up, Andy? Why do people not bring that up? Oh, Martin Bakole stopped him in 4, but he went the distance with the 2-time Olympic champion and the regular world champion in Puev, but Martin stopped him in 4 rounds. How do people not give him credit for that?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Of course it is.
So what are your hopes then for Martin this year? This year, maybe early next year? Is that what you're hoping?
This year, I think every passing hour it looks bleaker and bleaker that we might not get out this year, which I'm very, very disappointed with. I really don't know. You know, we're coming to near the end of the contract with Boxer, so I'm shocked that they've not offered him something. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
We'll see. Definitely. And listen, it'll be good to see the big man back training and stuff. You know, it's always the thing about Martin is he's a fan friendly fighter. Do you know what I mean? He's good in the eye for fans to sit there and watch a big heavyweight trying to get that knockout. That's what we like to see. Do you know what I mean? So,
but it's no fan friendly coming in overweight the way he did against a Jagba. Parker, ignore the Parker fight, and see these clowns on Twitter that say, "Oh, he was overweight." Of course, he was. He wasn't even in camp. He was starting the camp on the Monday for the Jagba in the May. And obviously he's had that fight. He probably got bigger and came back. Listen, see the thing is, see when he landed in Saudi Arabia, he wasn't the weight that he was when he walked in the ring. I was away to a fight in Wales, and I went missing for 4 days, and I put on quite a bit of weight in the 4 days I was away. I was shocked.
What's the conversations like with you and Martin when he puts on weight? Do you really have to?
You just say, "Oh, of course I do."
Yeah,
of course I do. But it's going to change. It's got to change, and it will change.
Well, listen, I think for me as a boxing fan, not just the guy that does interviews, an idiot with a camera, as I call myself, I would like to see the AJ fight in Africa. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think for Martin and AJ.
It's the only fight that you can really take in Africa. Let's be honest. Everyone else is going to be. Why would you go and fight anybody else? Why would you? I mean, Tony Yoka, what is he, a B-level fighter? B, C. You need to, if the Nigerian government or Ghanaian government, I mean, we don't know if His Excellency is contributing towards this fight as well. So, needless to say, whoever's funding it will need a lot of money for AJ anyway. So, why give a substandard opponent potentially when Martin Bakole's there and available?
Have you got Eddie Hearn? Listen, Eddie Hearn's put Martin's name forward as a potential opponent for Anthony Joshua.
Well, listen, putting it forward, Eddie's his promoter. Why does he not just offer him the fight instead of putting it forward? He knows my number. We speak. So, make me an offer.
But I can't see your head, Billy. Where are you? You're above the camera. That's better. That's better. Yeah, you were so.
I'm saying Eddie Hearn knows my number. Instead of put make an offer for the fight.
Mm. Well, there you go. That I was going to say, if you got a message for Eddie Hearn, but I'd imagine the message is just simple. Call me.
I mean, let's be perfectly honest, Andy, right? With Martin's name being mentioned now for the AJ fight, say ultimately it is Tony Yoka or somebody at that level, would you as a boxing fan not be disappointed that it's no Martin Bakole and it's another?
You asking me personally, or just?
Aye.
Aye, I would be disappointed. Yes,
Well,
personally,
you're a boxing fan, aren't you?
yeah, I'm a boxing fan. Yes, and
Of course you would.
if you're asking me, I would be disappointed if AJ's not fighting Martin Bakole. And again, it might be because I've got a relationship with Martin. I like him. I like you. I might have my little sort of going with my heart rather than my head. But other than that aside, Martin has a fan-friendly style. AJ's got a good style. I think you put them two in Africa, we're going to get what we want to see, which is knockdowns and drama and all that sort of stuff. And I think that makes a lot of sense when you put Martin and AJ together.
With two very skilled fighters.
Yes, exactly. So that again, that makes a lot of sense.
It's a very fan-friendly fight.
I agree. And for what it's worth, Eddie, make it happen.
Well, these are the fights that they say they want to make the best fights. Make it
happen. Billy, a quick one.
We're up for it.
I know you are. Listen, you've been caught. I don't know how long I've been interviewing Martin Bakole for and yourself. It's probably been the best part of, I'm going to say 6, 7 years, maybe even longer.
7 years or just over 7, I think it is.
Yeah, 7, 8 years. And all we've spoke about is getting the AJ fight, getting the Chisora fight, getting the Dubois fight.
There's another one. Chisora's not got an opponent for December 10th.
That's a good card to be on. That'd be a good card to be on.
Of course, it would, because when he beats, I mean, it'd obliterate, in my opinion, Derek, and then you can make that a Itauma fight, because we've already said yesterday a Itauma fight in August. But I got asked, would you take the fight? I said yes. That's what we require, and I know for a fact. Who did he fight again? Dylan White. Dylan White got more than what we asked for.
Mm-hmm. But if they came to you and said Moses Itauma's yet, I don't think Moses Itauma's got an opponent yet. But if they were to say to you, Billy, Martin, December 10th, Itauma, what would your answer be?
The same answer they got in August.
Which is a yes.
But they want to go and fight. Who was the guy? I mean, Michael Hunter. How can Michael Hunter fight when he's contracted lock, stock and barrel to fight Puev, right? Who was the other guy? David Adelaide. David Adelaide's a good friend of mine. But is it... I mean, that's a super hard fight for him, especially after that fight against Hrgovic.
Hrgovic, yeah.
That's not what the fans want to see, I'm afraid. You're meant to be number one in the rankings now, Itauma. Fight top fighters. David, in my opinion, or I know in my opinion, as far as I'm aware, is not even in the top 20, 25 in the world. So it's a bit of a step back away in it if you fought David.
But can you understand that he's only 20 in a dangerous division, that maybe they need to take that step?
The guy's an exceptionally good fighter. But why would you go for Hrgovic? Sorry, who did he fight his last fight?
Dylan White.
Why would you go for Dylan White who's a fine fighter in his day? And let's be perfectly honest, I felt sorry for him because he had to wait over 3 years in Manchester? Yeah, it's just disgraceful.
Mm-hmm.
But going for Dylan White, going back the way, is not the right thing to do. In my opinion, not for his development.
Yeah,
but he's got a fantastic promoter, and Frank Warren, who's the best in the business at building a fighter. So they're doing something right.
Definitely. Billy, a quick one. Nathaniel Collins is fighting tomorrow night. But I want to talk about, as we're both Scotsmen and we love the game of boxing, when you look at the card, you look at Scottish boxing and the young kids coming through, we've got Drew Lemon, Reece Lynch, Alex Arthur Jr., Marcus Sutherland on that card as well. I've probably missed a couple of young fighters. You've got Sean Lazzarini as well. How bright is Scottish boxing, do you feel? In the next 5 or 6 years, do you think we can get back to the glory days?
For me, there's too big a gap between, well, the best fighter now is probably Nathaniel and the rest. There's a big gap there. There's a few years of boxing there. I hope and pray Wally Hutchinson gets a result and he can move on to bigger fights as well, which might help bring further fights back to Scotland. But I think they're struggling to fill the venues with punters, so I think they might struggle to bring boxing back to Scotland for a wee while yet.
Billy, we've always had that though. We haven't really. We've had Alex Arthur doing it all by himself. Then Ricky Burns was that 3 years behind Ricky. Then Ricky Burns came, and then Josh Taylor was In fairness, when it was Alec Arthur, he had super undercards. They had ticket sellers, and Alec Arthur wasn't a ticket seller. He had good ticket sellers on his undercard. As good a fighter Alex was, a great fighter. There was big ticket sellers on the undercards, which filled the venues. I mean, when he fought Ricky Burns for the British and Commonwealth, I think it was, there was every bit as many people for Coatbridge as what there was Edinburgh, wasn't there? Do you remember that fight? I remember that fight. Was that Braehead or that was Meadowbank? Meadowbank. Aye. Oh, Braehead was Willie Lemond and Alex.
Willie Lemond.
Aye. Aye, that was it. But looking at the young fighters now coming through from the amateur ranks, though, are you excited for the future?
Aye, I mean, I think, well, in some of the cases, the boys are maybe 2 or 3 years away for potentially headlining their own shows or fighting at domestic level fights. Like I said, the boy Sutherland, good fighter. Alec Arthur Jr. is a very good fighter, but he's only had one fight.
Yep.
He's got to develop. And he's got nobody better. And his dad is an exceptionally intelligent man where boxing's concerned, and he'll keep him right. But he's going to be 2 or 3 years away from it. And that's a hard division as well.
Super middleweight, yeah.
Time about 3 years, 2 3 years before these guys, come to prominence.
I know. Well, listen, we can only hope, like you say, that these fighters continue to develop, continue to put on big performances, and continue to bring these shows, big shows, Braehead, Hydro, whatever it may be, arena shows at least, back to Scotland. But Billy, as always, I appreciate your time, mate. Even though you dinged me in Belfast, you gave me one of them. Nobody can see what I was doing there. That's fine. But
no, I would have done that to your face. No.
I know you would have. No, but listen, I knew that fight week that you and Lewis, it seemed like you were just on the ball. It seemed like even if I tried to make a joke with you, I felt like it wasn't the right time. I thought, like, looking at you and Lewis, it was like it's game time, and I'll just step aside. So well done again for the tactical side of things against there we go. I said well done again, Billy, for all that, and look forward to hearing any news on Big Martin Bakole as well. Looking forward to that. But you got anything else? Say that again, Billy. You broke up there. Say that again.
Any news would be good.
Any news?
You named that in one. Any news.
Any news.
We've been waiting for May the 3rd for any news.
Any news. Well, listen, fingers crossed. My fingers crossed for you, Billy. Hopefully you get that news.
Right, mate.
Listen, thank you so much, mate. Hopefully I'll see you soon. No doubt I will see you soon at the show anyway. Thanks, Billy. Speak to you soon, mate.
Take care. See you tomorrow night.
I'll see you tomorrow, mate. Aye. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay. Cheers.
In this sport, you don't wait for judges to decide your fate. TenexToken puts you in control. Stake instantly, speculate discreetly, and keep your moves private. TenexToken. Play smart, play discreet.